Yeah, man. Good night, good night, good night. Yeah, so it's good to be on tonight. Welcome. Let me see who is here tonight. All right, big up yourself. Ilian Turner, Darrett Elliott, uh, Opal Pinnock, Big J64, Paulette MacArthur. Welcome tonight. Um, I'm excited to have you again here tonight. Hope that you enjoyed tonight's show. Yes. Hope that you enjoyed tonight's show. um, it's always good to come and hang out with you guys on a Wednesday night. I really look forward to it because there are just so many things that are happening, so many things that are making the news, so many things are happening, and so many things are happening to persons' health. Want to big up all the persons who come on every week and are our steady classroom. Big up Christopher Campbell, regular guest, Jeffrey Warrell, welcome. I see Michael Allwood, welcome tonight. Welcome tonight. All right, I see Norman Monique. Greetings. Marilyn Mollison, welcome tonight. I see Patel Cruikshank. Good night. I see Isilda Williams. Good night, Isilda. It's good to have you. I see I am Miss B. Welcome. And I see JM Master Songwriter in the house. And you guys come on before the show to get the chat going. I see so many persons here tonight, and I just want to greet you all tonight. As I said, it's a pleasure for me to be here. In the last 2 weeks, Reggae Girl is here. Good night, Reggae Girl. It's good to have you tonight. In the last 2 weeks, we've been looking at, common ailments. And we've been looking at common ailments that affect both male and female. There are so many conditions out there that are common. And as I said, the goal is to look at the traditional system out there, the traditional healing method. As I said, the next great crisis is going to be a food and medicine crisis. And we have to be in a position where we are able to identify and to know what is available around us, and be able to know how to tap into that. We have to know how to tap into that, because as we see the time around us, I don't know what happened to the chat. Okay. Yeah. Joe Blogs, are we in the Christ already? Yeah, man, we're in the Christ already, because we're seeing the effects of what is happening, and it's not where it is or where it is going to be. I believe that the crisis is going to get a lot worse, and so we have to be in a position where we know how we can find our food. and we know how to find our medicine. Before we go into the show, we want to just talk about the Magnitsky Petition. When I ask OT to put that up, again, if you have signed it, then we encourage you to get somebody to sign it, share it with somebody, and you can also donate. You can also donate and tell somebody about it. All right, so this is it coming up. Yeah, this is the Magnitsky Petition. So the Magnitsky Petition is here tonight. Welcome, Mr. Magnitsky.
Yes, sir. I'm new name that. Good evening,
Yes,
good evening,
man.
good evening, Dr. Ben. Good evening, everyone in the chat, or if you're just listening, viewing audience. Good evening to producer OT.
What you take down the Magnitsky Petition a little bit? Let people say, make people say Ratty tonight, and tell me if there's anything different about him. Does he look any different to you tonight, guys? Does he look any different to you tonight? All right. One Jamaica say, yeah, man. Because that's the first thing, you know. A while ago, I wasn't sure what one Jamaica legal defense, he look younger.
And the rest, man.
Yeah, man. Right. No remedy, no substitute for rest, no, Rattigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No substitute for rest. And sometimes you may not feel as if you need it consciously, but the cells and the body knows that, you know, you need all the rest that you can get. So, how was it, man? Before we even go into the show, tell us, how was the rest and relaxation?
When I say rest, meaning that I wasn't doing the programs, but I was actually still doing the work, you know, despite what was going on. And to believe it or not, I got a lot of things done. I got a lot of things.
Darren say, look, you look fresh and clean like Jesus teacup. I like that
one. Somebody asked about blurry vision.
What is good for blurry vision? Well, as I said, you know, blurry vision is a symptom, and it's only a symptom. It can be a symptom of many things. It can be a symptom of degenerative lens. It can be a symptom of diabetes. It could be a symptoms of cataract. It could be a symptoms of glucose. So I can't tell you what is good for blurry vision, because we don't know what is causing that particular blurry vision. And so, you know, as I said, you know, sometimes it's good to go to your primary care physician, get diagnosed, and come back and say, Dr. Ben, I got blurry vision because of X, Y, Z. When what is good for it? That's a better way of going about it. Because our job is not to diagnose. You know, even though we will work with persons based on certain symptoms, but symptoms are really an indicator of a root cause, and that root cause is what we need to attack. All right, we need to resolve the issue from the root, not from the symptoms. So, you know, we'd have to know what is causing the blurred vision to first of all be able to tell you what's good for it.
Let me just apologize for our dietitian, Ivana. She's watching the program now. She was supposed to join us, but as most of you know, she has an annual bus ride to Pen Relays, and she went this past Saturday, and she's still feeling the effects of being in the rain and running up and down. So her voice is gone right now. So she'll be on at, you know, when she recovers some point in the future. Big up yourself, Ivan. Get well soon. Last night, Dr. Ben, I went on one of my favorite shows. I don't know what my favorite shows now. But I went on one of them last night, Mystic Sensation. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the conversation was rich. It was a rich conversation about what's going on in Jamaica and what should be done. And I hope tonight, I know tonight is going to be rich as well. And we're going to prepare you for what's coming on Saturday, because I'm telling you, um, you have to be prepared. We have to prepare you, because the things that you're going to hear on Saturday, amazing, amazing. You know, you ask a question, you say, hey, tell us about the rest. What were you doing, you know? And, you know, Dr. Ben, one of the things I did, I said I didn't want to, yeah, I couldn't move around, but I just didn't want to lose the momentum mentally,
Yes.
you know. And I kept my focus, and I started looking into a whole bunch of things. And believe me, people, I was still sending out ATIs. In fact, almost every day I get a response. I received one today from the office of the Prime Minister. That when I tell you about it, you're going to die laughing. But I kept the focus, kept looking at a whole bunch of things. And last week, Saturday, we talked about this gentleman, Senator Marlon Morgan. And what most of you didn't know was that there was a Saturday morning show, not my show, it's Portland Spice. And I was invited to be on the program. But I
The
knew I
Portland,
couldn't.
that's here from Portland.
Yeah, Portland Spice with Colin Bell.
Oh, that's okay.
Shaka, right.
Fame.
So he asked me on Friday night to come on the program on Saturday morning, because his program is from 9 to noon. So I figured, well, you know, I could get on it while Kevin and I were working. I could just take some time off and go on his program. And I went on and I was on it for a while, and then eventually I had to excuse myself because Kevin was waiting on me. But the gentleman, for those of you who don't know who he is the spokesperson for the Jamaica Labour Party. He speaks for the Prime Minister, and I guess he speaks for the government. They have another PR person, Dana Morris Dixon, senator. Uh, she's also a minister, but she speaks primarily at the post-cabinet briefing, and that's on a Wednesday. But he's all over the place, you know. And I had invited him to the show, and he he, he cursed me out in a nice way. He said that I was an antagonist and that I was trying to bring down the Andrew Holness led government. And so he didn't think that my program would be suitable for him. Yet still, I see him all over the place debating um, uh, PNP candidates for MP. I see him on PNP programs hosted by PNP surrogates. I see him all over the place, but it just wouldn't come on my program. But Sweeney, here's what happened. Here's what happened. We're looking at him, but we're not looking at him. We're not looking at him for who he is. We're looking at him for whom he represents. And so we're looking at him as if, you know, you have on a pair of glasses and you use the glasses to see. We don't stop at the glasses. You don't stop right here. You look beyond it. And this man gave us so many things about the prime minister, about the government, without even knowing. So this Saturday, we cut the clips for those of you who didn't, and I wasn't on camera. So I'm seeing the clips for the first time. I saw them yesterday for the first time. And we're going to use them to show you what the government is doing, what the prime minister is doing. And also, we always talk about teaching people, educating people, informing people, getting people to think critically. Well, one of the things we're going to do this Saturday, and again, we're using him as a tool to show you a whole bunch of things. Years ago, the FBI sent me well, they sent me on a bunch of training. One of them was interrogation and interviewing techniques, how to interview someone depending on the circumstances, or how to talk to someone depending on the circumstances, whether you were interviewing or you were interrogating. Excellent course. And I used some of the things I learned. last week Saturday on Senator Morgan. He didn't even know he was being played because he said a whole. And we're going to show you, and I'm going to show you a technique in terms of interviewing people like Senator Morgan. I'm going to show you a technique where you can get information out of them without them even knowing that they're giving you information. They think they're not giving you, but it all depends on how you structure your questions, how you phrase the questions, whether you want to start with a yes or no, and then you open it to like an open conversation, or you want to start with an open conversation and narrow it. But
Talk
you'll
about
see,
that.
yeah, I'm gonna show you some techniques, and believe me, you're gonna appreciate them, and he's gonna appreciate them too, because it will be a learning experience for him because he he thinks too highly of himself, and we're gonna expose him. But again, we're not gonna spend time on him per se. We're gonna spend time through him to show you what's going on with your government, our government, because at the end of the day, it's the government of Jamaica. It's not the government of the JLP or the government of a particular
Mhm.
group of people. So we're gonna go through that, and then Dr. Ben, I spent a great deal of time going through a number of speeches,
Mhm.
a number of, when I say speeches, like what do you call it? They don't call it convention, conference speeches,
Mhm.
and spend a lot of time going through the manifestos, spend a lot of time reading articles, going through a whole range of things. And I'm telling you, there is so much out there, so much that you could easily get overwhelmed if you don't really have a strategy as to how you're going to harness the information, collate it,
Right.
review it, disseminate it. If you don't have a strategy, you're going to be overwhelmed. And then if you try to explain it to people, it's going to be difficult because you're going to be all over the place. Not that it can't be done; people can do it, but as a one person, it's kind of overwhelming.
Mhm.
So I took my time and I went through the things, and I'm telling you, our prime minister is something else. He's something else. I mean, the man is unbelievable, and we're gonna show you all of that. Another thing is, people have gone through his finances in a meaningful way, and they've shared the product, their work product, with us on social media. And I think more than one person has done it. But what you're gonna get this Saturday, you're gonna get a chronological account of his finances, and you're gonna be awestruck. You're gonna be dumbfounded when you realize what's going on with this man. And we're gonna start from, he was a kid that growing up on Cumberland Road. We're gonna start from there. We're gonna end up coming to know. And you're gonna see that the Integrity Commission didn't do what they were supposed to do. Didn't. Didn't. They, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but the Integrity Commission is a collection of people, including investigators.
Mhm.
I'm just one person. And I just have like maybe two people just helping me, just you know, showing me stuff, and I'm going through the stuff. And yet we can find the gaps. We can find the holes. We see where there is no explanation for some of these finances. Thanks, Reggae Medic. And and we can't figure out how come they couldn't do it, you know. But yes, Megawatt, it went from one bedroom to the two bedroom. But the thing is, whether it's one or two, we're gonna show where he started, right? And we're gonna show where he is right now. And I know he's not gonna be happy because we'll be doing things that the Integrity Commission we'll be doing things that the Integrity Commission did, and we'll have some additional information. So
Mhm.
Sweeney said nothing this man do surprise me. Um, you'd be surprised, Sweeney. You'd be surprised. So that's what's going on. I mean, I have my notepad here. Um, we I've been looking at a whole bunch of things, and the promises that the commitments that he's made. We're gonna debunk all of that. We're gonna show you that they're gonna come and tell you that they did 100 things. Don't focus on the 100 things. Focus on the 900 that he didn't do. Focus on that. And believe me, there's a lot that he and his government did not do. And then we present it and we say to people, listen, look yourself in the mirror. Be true to yourself. Search your soul and ask yourself, are you better off now as a result of the promises, the commitments, or not? And then you vote your conscience. Not telling you who to vote for, but take a look at what we're going to present this Saturday. And it's a lot. Oh, by the way, Red Dirt. A lot of you asked for Alpha to come back. Alpha is coming back this Saturday. And there's also an author who wrote a book about red mud in Jamaica, rare earth elements in Jamaica. He's coming on as well. And then we're also going to have Professor Rosalie Hamilton. She's coming back. She wrote an article last Sunday about the constitutional reform. It's not going anywhere right now. And the Prime Minister he has indicated that he's probably going to give up on it. And so she's coming to talk about that as well. And we have a whole range of things, Dr. Ben, to talk about. Whole bunch of things. I don't think we have time to talk about, because the more time I have, the more time I put into this thing. And like on Monday, today's Wednesday. On Monday, I did 5 ATIs. And five, yeah, in one day. And they have done more. And the Prime Minister's office, they wrote back to me on Tuesday, yesterday. And they said they needed clarification. And I wrote to them about the clarification yesterday, and they wrote me back. All of this is going on in the space of a day or two. And they wrote me back and said, by close of business tomorrow, meaning today, this was yesterday, Mr. Rattigan, we'll have an answer for you. And I have to give kudos to the lady. She came back with an answer. It's not a complete answer. It's an answer that's going to cause problems for them too. But they gave me the answer. So that's what we're doing. Now, folks, the petition. It is very important that you sign this thing. I don't need to remind you. Well, maybe I do need to remind you of the purpose of the petition. We are planning to submit Magnitsky requests to the UK, US, Canada, the EU, and several international organizations. And we will be doing it based on Jamaican politicians' involvement in kleptocracy, corruption, and gross human rights violations. Now, most of the work product has been completed. We're distilling it right now. This petition is the icing on the cake. It's essentially saying to the recipients of the work product that we have the support of a sizable number of people. So we're asking you to look into this and take appropriate action. Oh, Megawatt said, oh, yeah. Thanks, Megawatt. By the way, people, oh, yeah, so that's the petition. So we need you to sign it because the government of Jamaica is involved in, as committed a breach of all three: kleptocracy, corruption, gross human rights violations. So we need the signature. The signature is a sign that you're seriously supporting this initiative. Now, when you go to sign the petition, do not make a donation on that page. Do not. Do not make a donation there. The second thing is, when you sign that petition, nobody can see your signature. Nobody will see your signature. So I know some of you, especially those in Jamaica, you're afraid because you say, well, I sign it, they'll find out, they'll come get me, and who knows what's going to happen. Don't worry about it. You have my word. Just sign the petition and let's move on with this thing, because we have to submit it. And it doesn't matter whether we submit it before the election or after the election, but we just need to submit it. And it doesn't make sense for the work product to be completed and we're just sitting here waiting for the signature. So please, I urge you, I implore you, I beg you, go and sign this petition. And by the way, it's not just Jamaicans signing the petition, because change.org has put the petition on other platforms. And people who are not connected to Jamaica, they just read it and say, this is something that I can support. They have signed it. And if I'm not mistaken, OT, I think we have like 100 people or so from other platforms who have signed. Uriah is asking how to sign the petition. OT, is this? Yeah, this is it. There it is. Yeah, you can sign it right there. See the link right there. You can sign it right there. We have another one. Hold on a second. I think. Oh no, it's gone. Hold on a second. Let me see. Petition. Magnitsky. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, wait a minute. Is it this? No. Hold on. I know it's here somewhere. But it's... Let me see if I can find it. We just need you to go ahead and... I can't find it right now. I don't want to waste any more time, because Dr. Ben, he has this thing that he has to talk about. All right. So that's the petition. You have to sign the petition. The second thing is we're having here it is. This one.
Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and its global supporters cordially invite the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and its global supporters cordially invite Jamaicans abroad and abroad to its inaugural Reconnection on June 21st, 2025 at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center in Kingston, Jamaica. Bring your entire family for a day of food, fun, entertainment, and information. Get an understanding of the Constitution and the skills necessary to exercise your rights and your civic responsibilities as Jamaican citizens. You can't afford to miss this inaugural Reconnection Rally, June 21st in Kingston. Tune in for further information and updates to Reason with Rattigan on YouTube and reggaeglobalradio.com, Saturdays at 3 p.m. New York time and at 2 p.m. in Jamaica. See for yourself.
Yeah, that's the event we're planning in Jamaica. We're getting the permits. We have the location secured. This is going to be a tremendous event, beautiful event. It's a family reconnection, yard and abroad. And we're asking people to come. It's free of cost. Bring your children, because we're planning to entertain the kids. We're planning to feed them, feed you as well, adults. We're planning to have some entertainment. I don't want to say adult, but we're planning to have entertainment, and we're also going to have some speeches. Now, the speeches, they will not be political in nature. They will focus on the cost of living, and they will focus on the Constitution, and those topics will be seen through the eyes of civics, because they've taken civics out of the schools, so people don't even know what it means to be a Jamaican. There are certain things that you have a right to, and you don't even realize it. So we're going to educate you about those rights. One of them is if you need your MP to do something for you and you need to, get it in the budget, you can't go to your MP after the budget has been read. You have to go to him before budget call. Budget call is around October, November every year. So you have to go to your MP like around this time and say, listen, we need to get a road. We need to get a clinic. We need to get so that they can put it in the budget. You cannot come afterwards and complain. That's not how it works. But see, you wouldn't know this, but this is your civic duty. And I don't think a lot of people are aware of this. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. And there are many more things that we plan to do on that particular day. And it's a daytime event. It's from 10 to 6. We're planning to bus some people in. It's going to be a wonderful event. Somebody just put, Megawatt just put in the chat that about the Prime Minister. Yeah.
Wow.
I've received information, Dr. Ben, I don't know if you hear about it, that the Prime Minister is supposed to be visiting New York
No,
next week. I think they say it's next week or the week after. And he's having a dinner. And yes, Dart, we're looking for about 10,000 signatures, and we only have 1,400 right now. So you see, we have a ways to go. All right. But 10,000 should not be difficult to get, because I'm sure you can find 10,000 people who see something wrong with Jamaica. The problem is that people, for some reason, they think that they have to pay to cast, to put their signature, and they're afraid that somebody's going to find out and they're going to come after them. Fruit the pan, big up yourself. None of those things are true. Yes, Dorrit, the dinner that they're having for the Prime Minister is a fundraiser. I'm hearing that it's $3,000 for a plate of food.
Mm-hmm.
3,000. Come and sit with them, right? And I was offered a ticket. When I say offered the opportunity to purchase a ticket. Now, I don't know me now go this up. And it is they say it's a fundraiser. And I see Mrs. Holness walking the streets of her constituency giving out buns. Well, the Prime Minister is coming to New York. Madam Speaker, you and I know what's going on, so I won't say anything else. I'll just leave it right there. But continue giving out your buns. Continue giving out your buns. I wonder if you were getting any bun, if anybody giving you a bun. I don't know. Because, if you're giving it, then, in the spirit of the season, somebody's supposed to give you. I don't know if you get, but we'll leave it right there. So where's the location? It's in, I think it's in, hold on. Let me find out where it is. Let me just find out, because you're going Megawatt. I was Megawatt asking. Yeah, Megawatt, you're going? The Mega? Let me see. If you want a ticket, Mega, let me know. I doubt it that you want a ticket, but if you do, just link me and we'll go from there. Oh, Mega said, behave myself. It's poison one. Don't go, that food too expensive. Andrew Pine. The one that she don't want a bun. Let me see what else here. Oh, Andrew Pine. Okay, all right. Yeah, Dr. Ben. So,
you're a very busy man.
Very, very busy. Very, very busy. I mean, we have some things that we can talk about and tell the people what is to be expected. One of the things that Senator Morgan told us about We never ask him, him volunteer this information.
Mm-hmm.
Him volunteer some information about people to remember. And we're going to talk about this in detail Saturday. This is just a teaser. But you remember that back in 2016, they were talking about buying cars for the police, for
Right.
the JCF, and they're buying used cars. And some people are saying, oh, you can't buy used cars for the police because you need something with a you need something with a better transmission, a stronger engine, something with a sturdier with better brakes, better suspension. They were saying you need all of these things, and they're correct. You can't buy just a regular car off the street and a used car and say, okay, we're going to give this to the police for them to do police work. People were complaining. Well, a lot of money actually was spent, and it just happened that me drop in our circle when we know how the money spent. We know how the money spent, and we know how the money share up and all of this stuff. But putting that aside, Senator Morgan came on and him come on and him say that was a mistake made by the government. Him said that was a mistake. And we went and we did some research. And let me just tell you this, people. The cars were supposed to be delivered in 2017. 2017, the cars were supposed to be delivered. I spoke to someone today. And the cars, this is 2017, the cars were supposed to be delivered, I think it was about 100, 200. As of today, there are, let me see it. As of today, I'll look through my notes. Okay, as of today, out of the 100, 23 out of the 100, 23 cars have not been delivered from 2017. And remember, they said that the cars that they were purchasing, they were supposed to be, I think, 4-year-old cars. So you can just imagine if they purchased that car back in 2017 and it's sitting on the wharf or someplace. It's 4 years old, 2017. 17 till now is 8 years. So the car was 4 years old. It's now 12 years old. Can you imagine getting a 12-year-old car now and say, yes, we're going to run it? I like how
everything crystallized already.
There you go. There you go.
Good thing we have a Chinese mechanic now.
Yeah, those are some of the cars I'm talking about. And we're going to get into it. Also, you hear them say no new taxes since this government took over in 2016. No new taxes on the population. And last night on Mystic, we were able to show that it's not true. We have the documents. We're going to show it again on Saturday. It's not true. They have a little scheme, and we're going to show the scheme where you're not actually paying taxes like they have the electric scheme, where you get your electricity bill is triggered once you go past a certain megahertz or whatever the measurement
threshold is, right?
Yeah, the threshold, right? And you know what they did? They didn't raise taxes. They lowered the threshold. So the threshold was 300 before the bill started to register. They drop it now to 150. So they can say, we didn't raise any taxes, but they dropped the threshold. These are some of the schemes that they've been using, and we're going to identify them. We also they said that the electricity bill is low, and we're going to show that the electricity bill. We're going to show people complaining about the electricity bills. And like I said, people, you're gonna get a lot of promises now, and the manifesto that they put out every election cycle. This one is gonna be a little bit different, Dr. Ben. And you know why it's gonna be different? Because we're reviewing them, you know. We're reviewing them. We reviewed the 2016 one and we reviewed the 2021, and we found so many issues with both of them. And they know we're looking at them. So you know what? They're trembling now, because now when they come out with they have to come out with one before the next election, because these are promises that they make to the people, and they know we're going to be looking at them. They know we're going to be looking at them, and so they're going to have a whole heap of problems. And Senator Morgan, I know you're watching the program, and I'm inviting you to come on Saturday. I know you're not coming, but I mean, I'm inviting you to watch the program on Saturday, because you have opened our eyes, and we want to thank you, because there's some things that, had it not been for you, we would have never known. And so we want to thank you. And I hope you don't get into any problems with the party or the prime minister, like your predecessor, because we want to work with you. We want you to continue sharing information with us. And so we have the clips from last week, and we're going to play them, and we're going to show how much you've given us and how thankful we are that you've given us this information. And don't feel no way. I want love. But the thing about it is that the people come first. Not the political parties. The people come first. And we've said it, and we say it again. We don't care who's in power. They must do what they have to do in terms of taking care, doing right, creating opportunities for the people. They have to. They have to. Cannot champion. So that being said, you shut up, Morgan. No man. No man. Him have a mouth pan spring, you know. So it hard for him shut up. Do you know what gonna shut him up? I'm bosses them are gonna shut him up. Him not shut up. And them are gonna shut him up, because he make a mistake. He did not know I was gonna be on the program last week, Saturday morning, and I did not know he was gonna be on the program last week, Saturday morning. We didn't know each other was gonna be on the program. And that was a stroke of genius on the part of Shaka, because if Shaka told him I was going to be there, I guess he probably wouldn't have shown up. If Shaka told me that he was going to be there, I certainly would show up. But he showed up, but in what he should have done when he showed up, because he doesn't want to speak to me, he should have simply said, look, Shaka, I made preparations to talk to you only. I know I see you have a group of people here, and I don't know what's going on, but let me call you after the show and set up something, make some arrangements so that you and I can talk again. And then we'll go from there. That's what I would have done. I would have excused myself. But ego is ego, and his arrogance couldn't let him say no. They led him to the slaughter. When I say the slaughtering will take place. Dr. Ben, come in, talk to me. What go on?
Yeah, as I said, you know, it's good to know that you've gotten so much done in the 2 weeks that you were not visible. You're not visible, but you're very busy. You know, so the last 2 weeks, you know, we spoke about what we call some diseases that were common, and you know, just basically use that as the guide, you know, for the show. We looked at a number of ailments for the past 2 weeks, and certainly when I talk about herbal remedies for common ailments, that's what we've been looking at. So when I continue doing that, I want to talk, maybe if we each time we talk about fatigue. Hold on. Fatigue, wound healing, and you know, and whatever we are allowed to go into tonight. A number of persons had questions that we explored So tonight I wanted to talk about fatigue, because that is something that we see that impacts a lot of people. A lot of people are affected by fatigue. Tiredness. This sad. Even today, I was with a young boy, maybe about in his 30s, and while I was there, I was talking to him, and he shared about feeling that sense of fatigue. But we really missed you last week, and the show wasn't the same without you, and we really we look forward to what you have brought back from that sabbatical that you went on. I see Peter Baker says ombudsman was appointed from last year Justice Minister at this morning. I know where a new ombudsman.
Oh, so Charmian said, Dr. Ben, my dear friend like Mr. Rattigan, she can't sleep. Please address.
All right, where is that?
Right
okay, yeah. So if it is that you're not sleeping, then you want to look at your B vitamins. That's one of the first things that is implicated. Your B vitamins. With that will come also a sense of low energy, fatigue, low energy. So I don't know if you're in Jamaica, but reach out to me. There is a product. So many persons have come to us. It's not my product. It's actually a product, but it's a supplement, and I'm making ready to to get it overseas because of how important that particular vitamin is, and how from you take it, you literally start to feel better. I tell persons, if you're coming to Jamaica, just go to the pharmacy and get a bottle. But your B vitamin is usually low. Your B3, B6, B12, those are usually low. And so once it happens, and that is what will cause you to have that insomnia as well as fatigue as well. Most of the time, that's the problem. But there can be other, but that's one of the main issue that would be causing you to have that. So you need to check your B vitamin level, or get a B complex, and that should resolve that. Valerian root is good as well, but valerian root would not be fixing the problem, fixing it, the issue from the problem. Valerian is like a very strong sedative, but what you want is to support your B vitamins, because once you're low in B vitamins really give the body the energy. That's what gives us the energy that we need. And so when that is low, then we're naturally going to be lethargic and restless. Let me see.
I don't know if you see this. I don't know if you, all right. Great, Dr. Ben. There's something here I wanted to show. Hold on. Okay. Last week, Saturday, it's about a 6-7 minute video, and I've been looking. A friend of mine sent this to me last week, Saturday, just before we went on online. And it was and he didn't know what I was going to talk about. He just sent something to me from South Africa and said, take a look at this. And he sent me this video. And those of you who saw this video, you made some really, really positive comments. You were saying, who is this guy? Why can't Jamaica function like this? And keep in mind that South Africa is for all intents and purposes, it's considered a corrupt country. They're trying. Some people are trying, and I know some of the South Africans they're watching right now. But I want to play this video for those of you who saw it. Just bear with us, and for those of you who didn't see this video, it's gonna be an eye opener for you. And this actually is a part 2, because a part 1 was sent to me yesterday, which I'll play this Saturday. But I played this particular video last week, Saturday. Take a look at this. This is how politicians should really be dealt with. Take a look at it. Let me set the stage for you. It's an oversight committee, and there is a South African Sports Authority, and they're funded by the government. And this gentleman who sits on the oversight committee, he's grilling them about money that they've received and money they have spent. And you're going to hear from the CEO who keeps, she kept claiming that she got the job in 2023. Now, this videotape was made about 10 days ago. So it's fairly recent. And she got a job in 2023, and she's saying she doesn't know, but she's submitting documentation. And so she's been called along with her staff. They were called to discuss this document. Here we go.
Financials reflect 41,041 Rand across 2 years for NSA condolences. What is that? Is there anyone to respond to me on finances here? I expect the CEO to be able to respond on finances.
Honorable Member, I have to check the document that you're talking about.
You can't check a document. You can't come to a portfolio committee that represents the people of South Africa and say you must check a document. You are a CEO and you are supposed to know what is inside of your document. So please explain to me and the 250 South Africans watching now and the hundreds of thousands that are going to watch, what is NSA condolences? You spent 41,000, you ought to know.
The only thing I can remember at the top of my mind is the players that, netball players that died. That's what I remember at the top of my mind.
You spent 41,000. What did you use it for?
Honorable Member, with due respect, can I get back to get the details, because this is not for this financial year.
No, you are correct. It's not for this financial year. It's for the 2024-2023 financial year. At the financial years that ended in 2023 and 2024.
Exactly, Honorable Member. I was employed in October 2023, and I wanted to be given an opportunity to go and check, and I will report back.
So you didn't do your homework before the portfolio committee? You present us a report, you don't do your homework on the report. What must can happen? Yes?
I did my homework.
Now you don't know what the 41,041 Rand was for.
Can I humbly request that I go and check those details, Honorable Jacobs?
You cannot humbly request that you go and check details. It doesn't matter how you change the wording of your request. I want the answer now.
I don't have the answer now.
So you don't have the answer?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Then I want to move to correctional services. 53,091 Rand was spent to a line item called correctional services. What was that for?
And
what is your name, CEO? I want the South Africans to just hear your name and surname.
My name is Mudiegi Komani.
Yaleboa.
My name is Mami Diale. The money for correctional service, what happens is, as and when Department of Correctional Services has a championship, they request support from Netball South Africa. And with that support, Netball South Africa will invoice them in terms of selectors, in terms of umpires and all that.
Thank you very much.
So they will pay that money.
That's fine. Then I want to know, you paid 119,217 Rand for a social media influencer. Why and who was it? And what was the results of it?
That was part of the 2023 Netball World Cup, and
Nope, it was 2024. It ended in that financial year.
Say that again.
The statement ends for the 31st of March 2024. So who was the social media influencer? What did they do? How much did they cost? And what was the person? What was the outcomes?
That's when the CFO is absent, Honorable Jacobs.
But we need a response, Chairperson. We need a response. There's people here that ought to account to us now, and I want the accounting now.
That's when a CFO is absent. This is what happening.
Then you sit here with silence. And I think that the nation deserves to hear the silence also, because I can feel in the room there's a tension that you can't cut with a butter knife, you can't cut with a meat cleaver. Leave the tension and give us the answers. That is what we want. So please tell me, who was the person? What was it used for? There's got to be someone here that knows that.
I don't have the I don't have the details, Honorable Jacobs.
You don't got the answers. You don't have the
the
answers.
details.
You don't have those answers
I
for
don't
me.
have the details.
So you don't know
at
where the
this
money
moment.
went?
I'm saying the details of the particular influencer.
The details of the particular influencer.
Yes, Honorable
And you don't
Jacobs.
have the results of your spending on that particular
We
influencer.
do have the social media report of the spending, Honorable Jacobs.
Thank you very much. Then I want to know, you spent 47,000 rand, 47,568 rand on consulting fees. What was that for? It's just there, a line item, consulting fees. Now the homework is being done, Chairperson. This is what happens when you study inside of the lecture. Proceed. Nagana.
Now we understand the challenges that NSA have.
That's why there's a problem. And I'm going to finish it with my last point. Proceed. I want an answer.
Honorable members, Honorable Chair, I don't think this is fair because
Why is it not fair?
this is very detailed and it requires, had we received, we would have attached evidence of these things. Like I indicate, I'm not giving an excuse. I came in October and these financials were already audited.
Chairperson, no.
So I need to go and consult to check this information.
Chairperson, Retsore Dintwano. The reason I'm saying that is because you can't come here, account, and then have nothing to account with. It is almost as if I must call you back for another meeting so you bring your details so that you can flesh them out. We are fleshing them out now. That is when the fleshing out is happening. So can't you tell me what you spent 47,000 rand on for consulting fees? You can't tell me. Yes or no?
No.
You don't know. As a CEO, you don't know. Okay. Then, on the SPA Proteas, in 2023, you spent 1,440,000 rand. In 2024, you spent 622,757 rand. I think we know what I'm going to ask. What was the consulting fees for? It's over 2 million rand in consulting fees. What were the consulting fees for? 2 million. There's netball players and coaches that are watching this now, wondering what happened to that 2 million. Couldn't my players get balls? Couldn't my players get kits? Couldn't my players get tackies? Couldn't my players get a court? But there's 2 million on consulting fees. What was the consulting fees for? Chairperson, I'm convinced that I was speaking English.
Yeah, Honorable Jacobs, I'm going to skip you. We have to reschedule a follow-up discussions.
So can I confirm, Chairperson, that she does not have the answers as we speak? That the CEO and members of the executive do not have the answers as we speak?
There's no responses. There's no responses.
There's no responses. They don't have the answers. They can't account.
So we have to get this on the latest stage, and perhaps, Honorable Liam Jacobs, may I request that you put that down on paper and that we get a response in due course.
Folks,
Serious grilling that man.
This is what we call true accountability. They're spending the taxpayers' money. And you can tell that before this guy came on the scene that it was just routine business. You know, they just show up, provide the documents, and then they move on. Right? Yes, Ralph, this is the green. Them over here. But this is what we need in Jamaica, and it's not happening. They have line items just like this. I've seen some of the line item expenditures, and you'll see consulting, and nobody asks who is this consultant? What kind of service did they provide? When did they provide it? Who benefited? Is there a report? Because there should be a report. Are there invoices? Nobody. Nobody cares. Well, that was actually part 2. Part 1 I received yesterday. So tune in this Saturday and you're going to see this young man kick up more dust. And also we have some videos that we're going to show you about when citizens get involved in town hall meetings. Let me just say something 1 second here, Dr. Ben, before you come up. You know, 2 things I want to raise with all of you, and I've raised them before and I'll raise them again, and I'm going to raise them on Saturday when Professor Hamilton is here. I firmly believe that if you truly want to offer yourself to serve the people of Jamaica, and it's a noble task, you should live in the community that you're representing or that you hope to represent. That should be enshrined in the Constitution, that you cannot represent people if you don't live in the constituency. And what it means, and they should define that residency. They should define residency mean the place where you put your head down on the pillow every night, except if you have to travel for business or you're on vacation or some emergency. Because here's why. You see all of the people complaining about water, complaining about roads, complaining about electricity, complaining about schools, complaining about housing, complaining about jobs, complaining about everything. If your representative lived in your community, a lot of those things you would not be complaining about, because that person would be so affected that they would make sure that the problem is resolved. Also, you cannot tell me that poor people can't represent themselves. You cannot tell me that garrisons don't produce brilliant people. And also, they should have a mentorship program so that people within the community can go to Parliament and become a part of that experience. See how it's done in terms of preparing them to take the mantle of leadership later on. If Juliet Cuthbert Flynn lived in her constituency, when they called and they told her that there was a water problem, she would not, when the reporter called, she would not say to the reporter, tell them to go down to the Water Commission and complain. She would be leading the charge. She would be leading the charge. This is true representation. Also, think about it. A lot of the people that represent the so-called representatives, where do they live? A lot of them live in the same neighborhoods. The ones in Kingston, where do they live? They live in Cherry Gardens, right? They live in they live in Red Hills,
where those issues will affect them.
Exactly. They live where else? They live on Mona. They live up it's a name, Manor Park, Stony Hill. A lot of them live there. So you know what would happen if they have 4 of them living in that neighborhood, representing 4 constituencies elsewhere? Guess what? If you started saying that you can only represent where you live, 3 of them would be out of a job. 3 of them would be out of a job because only 1 would be able to represent that community. Believe me when I tell you that most of these people, they live, I know, I've been to their homes, they live in the same neighborhoods. Same neighborhoods. And you can't tell me, say, and think about it. Think about it. The people, I'm talking now to the people who live below crossroads and living at the garrisons and living at the rural areas and all of those places. You can't tell me that you don't think you can represent your community, because guess what? You know what the issues are. You know what the issues are. And who else to represent you better than you? Because somebody who lives in Beverly Hills and they represent people in Tower Hill and Compound and Waterhouse and Cockburn Pen, they don't know what the issues are because they don't live with those issues. And what do? Them have some people them call counselors,
Right.
who are the buffers between the representatives and the people. No, have them come and live in your neighborhood. If you want to get things done, that's how you're going to get things done. They must come and live in your neighborhood, and you must insist that these things be. And look, here's an issue that is like the beach access issue. It doesn't matter whether you're PNP, JLP, UIC, Up Jamaica, NDM. It doesn't matter who you are. You are affected in a big way. You're affected in a big way. And I tell you what, you see some of the things that the politicians from up on the hill used to do, at least when I was growing up in Jamaica, where they used to pit us against each other. They used to pit family members against each other and say, them are labor right and we are PNP, or we are labor right and them are PNP. And so you can't associate with them people. And I saw family members fight against each other. Because why? Because somebody came from outside the community and tell them that. Yes. Whereas if people are run their own community, people that I think that there would be a better chance that you would have peace in the communities. People could have talked to each other, because guess what? All of these people down at the ghetto, them go to the same school, them related, them play on the same football team. There's so much in common that they don't have with the people who live uptown. But we allow the people from uptown to come down there and tell us what to do. Right? That's one. Second thing is, every election cycle they come around and they give you a manifesto. And you know what a manifesto is? It is a promise given during a political season where the politicians will tell you that these are the things I want to do for you. How many of you have read those manifestos? How many? How many?
Most people. I've never read them.
Most people have never read them. Never read them. So here's what I would like to see happen. I would like to see the people get together, the 63 constituencies. I would like to see them get together, come up with their own manifesto. And because one manifesto, it's like one size doesn't fit all, because the issues that affect the people in Portmore, they're not the same issues that affect the people in Portland. You may have some similar issues, but there are others that will be different. So each community should be responsible for coming up with its own manifesto, telling the politicians that this is what we want from you. And what you do is you present it to the incumbent, the person in the office, and you present it to the challenger. And you should have them come before you in a town hall meeting and explain, and you give them and have them come and explain to you how they're going to get this done. And included in that manifesto, it should be that whoever we select, whoever we elect, that person must come before us every quarter, every 3 months or so, and give us a status report. Tell us what they've done. Tell us what they have not done. Tell us what they intend to do. Tell us what they're doing. And the things that they haven't done, that they should have completed, they must tell you why those things weren't completed. And they also have to tell you their plan to accomplish the task. That is when the people have the power. Or better yet, that is when people start exhibit the power. But when you just come and you just give them your vote, and then you sit back and you wait for a handout, and a lot of times the handout is not coming. Look at the lady who balled out last week, show her labor right because she get a drum of water. She get a drum of water, must about a week, 2 weeks ago, Dr. Ben. Did that lady know? I don't think she realized that water that she got was promised to her back in 2016 in the manifesto. And it was also promised to her again in 2020.
Just getting it.
And she just get, and what they promised was not what they delivered. They promised that you're going to have things that you can harvest rainwater, and you can do this and you can do that, and they're going to send people around and put up the gutters and all of that stuff. She got one of them black drum of water. That's all she got. Maybe I think 2 or 3 she got, right? But she, yeah, and we want to say from a sewage truck, God knows what a truck did that draw before. But the important thing to note is that those promises were made as far back as 2016, and she just get her water, and she out that our show a labor right, show a labor right, show a labor right.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is what happened, people, when you don't.
You don't know any better.
Yeah, you don't know any better. You don't realize
you have a very low expectation.
You don't realize it. So I would like to see the people have the politicians come before them, because remember, like Janet Calder said, the moment you start thinking like an owner, a financier, and an employer, the game is over for the politician. The game is over. But they have convinced you to think only as a voter. And what does a voter do?
Vote.
Vote. And how often does a voter vote? Election time. And a general election is held every 4 to 5 years. And if you think that's all you have to do, then you're lost. You're lost. So, people, and again, I'm doing this for you, and I'm also doing this for myself because I want to see the change. I want to see the change in Jamaica. And like I said, I went through these things, and I mean, when I look at some of the promises that they've made, it's just amazing. And you know what? Getting on the foreign affairs side, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, but here's what I think happened when Marco Rubio showed up in Jamaica. They talk about a whole range of things, and I suspect that one of the things that the Prime Minister said to him in a sidebar was this: Mr. Secretary, we need your support for this election, because if we don't win the election, look at the alternative. Look who's coming in office. And he's pointing to the PNP. And he describes them as people with extreme philosophy, incapable of attainment. A PNP might talk about it now. Extreme philosophy, incapable of attainment. You see that buzzword, extreme philosophy, those two words? Waiter says, listen, you can't trust these people, these PNP. Listen, them call themselves comrades. And years ago, it used to have a very negative connotation. Still, in some circles, negative connotation. Then them go and point out and say, these people have extensive ties with Cuba and Venezuela. And they're going to point to people like Mr. Philip Palwell and said, look, see, we have examples, see them over here, son. But the one thing them don't realize is that Marco Rubio has already been briefed. And he knows that if there is an ultra capitalist, if there's one, it is Mark Golding. Mark Golding believes in a free market system. Mark Golding, I would categorize him as a capitalist with a heart. That, based on what I've seen, the man loves poor people. And it's coming from, through his heritage, his father. Look at what his father did. Look at what his mother did. For people with debilitating conditions. But that's a mistake I think they made, because they're trying to paint them paint a certain picture about them, and them say, no, Mark Golding is a capitalist, Peter Bunting is a capitalist, all of them are capitalists. But they have a conscience, and they have a heart, and they have a love for poor people. And so the secretary would have looked at them and say, okay, fine, no problem, I hear you. Just like I'm telling them, Dr. Ben, him trick them, him zeke them. Him tell them, say, listen, I'm looking at your crime numbers, and you've done remarkably well, in stemming the flow of crime, and I'm going to reevaluate the travel advisory. And what them do? Them jump up and down and start celebrate. GIS put out something so that yes, we're ready for it. You know, this thing, and them anticipate that it'll go move from a 3 to a 2 or maybe a 1. Guess what happened, people who don't know what happened? For all of you who don't know what happened, the thing is still at a 3. Still at a 3 after the reconsideration. Now you know what a 3 means? A 3 said to Americans, don't go to Jamaica. We're not recommending that you go. And if you go, it's a possibility you might get, you might become a victim of a crime, or you might be a casualty in the hospital system. And if you're caught up in the hospital system, you get sick or whatever, don't come to the U.S. Embassy or the U.S. government and think that we're going to airlift you, because airlifting you to Florida is going to cost $25,000 to $40,000. We're not paying that for you. So it's better for you not to come. We're not telling you don't come, because that's a 4. When it reaches a 4, they said do not travel.
Right.
A 3 is saying we're not suggesting that you travel. Jamaica is still at a 3. Jamaica is still at a 3. So they were there running up and down and carrying on and all of this stuff, and it didn't work out. So they tried to sell, I believe that they tried to sell the PNP as a socialist party that would be antithetical to this administration's view of the world, geopolitically and otherwise. But I don't think it worked. I don't think it worked, because all they have to do is just look at Mark Golding's background. And them say, this man is a banker. This man, he made money in the free market system. And we see no evidence that he is what you're describing him to be. And so that'll go by the wayside. So people, please, we don't need to sign the petition, because we need to get something going on this man here.
I'm going to say it is 1,400.
It's about 1,400 now.
I'm just saying it is at the 1,400.
Yeah, it's about 1,400.
I heard somebody was asking.
It's about 1,400. And I was just looking at some notes here regarding rare earth minerals. Remember, people, Alpha last week told you that billions, B, not M, B, billions of US dollars worth of rare earth material sitting on the ground in Jamaica right now. And I tell you, they're so inept. The government is so inept. The government is so incompetent that the question right now is who owns it. One of the questions. And nobody knows. Nobody knows. They don't know if it's the government of Jamaica. They don't know if it's the government of Jamaica, it's the government of China, or it's the mining companies. They don't know.
But I don't think we one problem is that we don't have the technology to process it.
Yeah, but here how stupid they are. They had an agreement with a Japanese company, and they were actually processing it. And that processing confirmed the high quality of REE in Jamaica. And what happened, it's a commodity, so it's subject to fluctuations, demand and supply. So the price actually went down and the Japanese pulled out. Now, if the Jamaican government had foresight, they would have realized that, wait a minute, this is something that could become valuable. Because here's where you use, and it shouldn't take them long to figure that out, because here's where you use REEs. Here's what you use them to do. You use them for computers. You use them in cell phones. You use them for
semiconductors.
Yeah, you use them for military grade materials. You use them for airplanes. Use them for a range of things. And especially when you have wars, and you see how much war you have right now, and this thing is in high demand. And I tell you how stupid Jamaica is. When I say Jamaica, I'm talking about the government, whoever is in charge of mining or whatever. You know, China. China has 60% of the REEs. They have control over 60%, and they process 80% of the thing. They control the market. The US was so frustrated about this thing. You know what the President Donald Trump, you know what his solution to the problem the other day was? He said, we're going to mine this in the Pacific Ocean because China control the whole thing. And he was trying to get Zelensky in Ukraine because they have vast amount of stuff. Yeah. So they were asking, and then because of the war was going on. Well, guess what happened yesterday? I think they signed an agreement. The US now is going to go over there now and mine REEs and bring them to America. Meanwhile, Jamaica sit down in America's backyard with I think I forgot how many tons the Alpha said. He'll come back on Saturday. And he's just sitting there in these pools, the Red Mud Lake. Just sitting there.
Wow. Billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars. And in fact, he even told us about a man who was able to get out, I think he said 300 tons of red dirt. The red dirt, because you use the red dirt and you process it and you get from bauxite, you get alumina. And then what they do, Jamaica doesn't have a smelter, so Jamaica has to, so then they export the alumina and they convert it into aluminum. Well, there's a guy who has I think 300 tons of red dirt, Jamaican red dirt in Louisiana processing, and he's taking out the bauxite, he's taking out the alumina and converting it to aluminum, and then he's processing the residue and he's taking out REEs out of the residue. And Alpha told us there are about 17 elements that they call rare earth elements. And by the way, it's not rare. When I say rare, it's not rare. It's everywhere. It's all over the place, but it's the quantity. It's a quantity. Some places it would make sense to go for them to mine because they don't have enough of it. Jamaica has a lot of it. And he was telling us that there's one element, I think solar, I don't remember which one it was. It's $5,000 a kilo.
Ooh. 5,000.
$5,000 a kilo, and we're sitting on millions of tons of this stuff. And we can't figure it out.
So it's a case where we're not managing well. The resources are not being managed properly.
No, we see, we act as if we can punch above our weight, regardless of the situation. We can do that with sports. We can do that with food. We can do that with music. We can do that with culture. We used to be able to do it with international politics. Not any longer.
Right.
So we are wear short pants and them are wear long pants. That's the state of the relationship. It's that simple. So the man there Louisiana now with tons and tons and tons and tons of Jamaican red dirt, I process it and I make a ton of money. And Fred said 134,000 tons, something like that. Well, what's his name? Alpha is very familiar with that situation. So when he comes back on Saturday, we'll return to the subject matter, and he'll refresh our memory about the amount of Jamaican red dirt sitting in Louisiana. And you know what happened? Somebody get money under the table. Somebody get money under the table. And if we had something like the one I showed in South Africa, where we bring them, we drag them before the committee, and then we start ask questions, and then we can't get any answers, then we start seizing bank accounts and start bringing action against people. But it's it's just
how things are done in Jamaica, you know.
It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some health conditions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanted to talk about, as I said, something that is very common, that is affecting us, and that is, you know, insomnia and a lack of energy. So many people struggle with this issue. And as I said we spoke about valerian root, but I wanted to talk a little bit about fatigue, um, and restlessness. Some persons have it really bad, where they can't sleep, they can't um, get any rest at all, and sometimes part of that one is a white light, especially the white light from the phones. Um, I said to the person that there are going to be some new diseases that begin to affect us in our latter years as well as our children. And a lot of these diseases are going to be linked to exposure to
Oh.
uh, devices, smart devices like these, because we live in an age now where the room that we sleep in has multiple devices, multiple frequencies, that we have to contend with. And we do this throughout the day, and then when it comes into the night, we're exposed to high levels of electromagnetic radiation. So we live in a very radiated society, and so part of that contributes to the fatigue that persons have, and while they're having problem getting any rest and getting any sleep. So tonight I want to talk a little bit about fatigue that affects so many persons. I want to talk about some herbs that can help with fatigue, and it can even cause erectile dysfunctions too. One of the key herbs that's very good for fighting that is what I call moringa, because moringa have high levels of iron and vitamins and protein. A lot of the minerals that the body needs in high levels, we call macronutrients, are found in moringa. And so a lot of people who consume moringa think that they should make a tea from it. Moringa is a nutritional herb. It's not it's a therapeutic herb, but its therapeutic properties lies in the fact that it is very nutritious. And so what you want to do is get in the moringa leaf. You want to dehydrate it, and then what you want to do is you can put the dried leaf in your blender, blend it to a powder, sift it, and then you can put that moringa powder in a jar, and you can use that now. You can add it to soups to increase the nutrient level of the soup. You can add it to your smoothies. You can add it to your juice. You can add it to your water, right? And what it does is that it helps to boost the body's immune system. Um, a lot of times we become depleted and degraded and void of the nutrients, because we also live in a society that is very demanding, and it's taking a lot from us. So we're utilizing a lot of what we have as minerals to just to cope with the stress that the daily life brings to us. And so that's also one of the reasons why so many people are stressed and experience fatigue in the way that they do it. So one herb that is good for that is a herb called moringa. There's another herb that I want to share with you that some persons, it's not grown in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, it's grown in India. It's a herb called, and it's also found in the US, it's a herb called rhodiola. I remember my first experience with this herb was about 6 years ago, when I wanted to stay up all night for what they would call watch night. 6 or 7 years ago, not I was doing some activities and I really wanted to be up, and I drank the tea, and I'm telling you, it was like energy right through till in the early weeks of the morning, and even up until that time I still didn't feel tired. So rhodiola is a herb that helps with fatigue. And then there is we don't talk about it, hemp, CBD. So that's a very good herb that that's what I use personally. And so that should have been the first herb that I talk about. So CBD, marijuana, that's one of the first herbs that I use. I have it for myself, and what I do is I make the oil, and what I do is just I take a little bit of the oil, and it helps me to sleep, and to sleep extremely well. So marijuana is a good herb for helping people who are having insomnia or who are having fatigue. Helps to really relax the body. So for persons, what you want to be careful, because a lot of times when people talk about marijuana, there's a marijuana, there's a sativa, and then there's the indica. So there's a sativa that helps you to relax, and then there's the indica that gets you high. And so the compound that is responsible for that is what we call THCs. It's a type of cannabinoid that works, that helps to increase the activity in that brain activities, and so it causes that high, that feeling that people are looking for, that people are chasing. That's the THC. But in terms of the CBD, the cannabinoids that help to relax the body and helps to deal with pain, especially persons who are having pain. That's another very good herb for pain as well. So these are just some herbs that really help with insomnia. I should say insomnia, fatigue. There's also Epsom salt. It's also very good. You can get a nice Epsom salt bath, and it helps to relax you. So, but that's because of the magnesium. So a lot of people who are battling fatigue, one of the problem is that they lack magnesium. And you'll know if you lack magnesium because one of the things that will happen to you is that you will have a lot of muscle contract. If you're having a lot of muscle contract, that's one of the sure signs that you are lacking in magnesium. And magnesium is very important for the muscles, especially the heart muscle. It's very good for that. Mr. G said, mine is bad. I'm taking Zapiclone, cannot sleep without it, right? So you want to be careful of some of those medications that help you to sleep, because you don't want to take something that you have to take all the time. Some of the most sleep medication are addictive. Right? A lot of them are addictive, and they end up being illegal substances. That's why they fall under a certain class. Some of those medications can only be recommended by certain or with doctors with a certain license, right? So it's important that we understand that. So yes, you may be taking certain medications to help you with sleep, but you wanna pay attention to what is happening and report to your healthcare provider any discomfort they're having, because a lot of them are very, very addictive. All right.
Folks, what we can do is that a lot of y'all text me and say open the phone line. And so the phone line, hold on. The phone line will be open momentarily. And the numbers at the bottom of the screen right there, 667, sorry. 667-369 8569. 667-369-8569. It's a long time we haven't opened the phone line. So
Yeah.
oh, and then what we're gonna do, folks, we're gonna kind of do some tinkering with the Saturday program. Not this Saturday, but after this Saturday, we plan to leave the last hour for phone calls because we realize that we touch on a lot of topics and a lot of you would like to share your experiences or ask questions, ask for clarification, or point certain things out to us. And we feel it's only fitting and fair that we give you the opportunity at that time. We'll still have the Wednesday program where we'll still have the phone line open. But on Saturdays, we're going to do some tinkering, but we'll keep you posted on that. But be prepared to come on Saturday and ask your questions. But the one thing though, you know, Jamaican people still, I mean, we love to talk. And I'm guilty of that too. But then I my excuse is that I get it from my mother. We love to talk. Yeah, we love to talk and we just keep it going. And come on, we make speeches when we should be asking questions. So we have to limit that. Anyway, here we go. Caller, good night. Welcome to Come Reason with Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Philadelphia.
Yes, it's Philadelphia. Go ahead, please.
Good night, Doc.
Good night. Nice to have you.
Okay, Doc. I am switching now to the body.
Yes.
And I volunteer to ask the questions for the male. Because they're not going to ask certain questions. Okay, Doc. My question is, why is it that some men, they get the full inch of the penis, while some men, theirs is so small? And also, I want you to touch on circumcision. Why it's necessary? I call it the bald-head man. So, touch on that for me. The importance of circumcision.
All right.
And why some men doesn't get the full length while some get more than that. All right?
Yes.
Have a good night. I'm listening to you.
All right, good night. Yeah. So, you know, I tell you know, we are very unique. We are all unique beings. Our fingers are unique, our toes are unique, and so as unique as all different body members are, that particular body member is also very unique. And but I always say the person sometimes it's not the size or the length of the tool. It's how you use it. I had a gentleman that came to me recently and he was putting on a door. And you know, he was talking about the man behind the chisel because he was chiseling with the lock. And you know, there are some chisels that are big, and sometimes a big chisel can be somewhat of an inconvenience. And then sometimes you have a small chisel and it can go places and it can do things that the big chisel just sometimes is awkward. Sometimes when certain tools are big, it is awkward. So it's not so much the size of the tool, but how the person uses the tool, you know? So that's what I have to say as it relates to the size, you know? But as it relates to circumcision, this is something that, you know, has proven to be very beneficial, not only for the man, but especially for the woman as well. Because you know that when a man is not circumcised, it's more difficult to maintain good hygiene, put it that way. When a person is circumcised, it's much more easier for them to maintain good hygiene. But there's a downside of that. No. Because the man that is not circumcised, because that area of the body is always covered up, it tends to be always more sensitive. And so sensitivity is very important during intimacy. When sensitivity is gone, then intimacy is reduced. And so the person who is not circumcised tend to experience a greater level of satisfaction during intimacy. So it has its downsides, and so you know if and because under the foreskin breeds a lot of bacteria. So almost as soon as you wash it, because urine has a lot of bacteria in it, and so almost as soon as you wash it, bacteria starts to multiply again. So it's difficult to maintain proper hygiene, and so when a man is going to be intimate, then he has to be very careful, because that germ or that infection can be spread or can be passed on to his partner, and so they have to be very careful. And so outside of the medical reasons, there are a lot of there's spiritual reasons behind it. In the Jewish faith, for example, once a person is not circumcised, he's not considered to be clean. So there's a lot of dimensions to circumcision, but from a medical perspective, there are definitely benefits in being circumcised, and OT says Muslims too. So in most of Africa, for example, where you have a high population of Muslims and persons with Jewish Orthodox belief system, you'll find that a lot of men there are circumcised. So it's very important to some persons beyond the medical reasons, but it is very important. It has a lot of benefits in being circumcised.
People, the phone line is open, 667-369-8569. Again, the number is 667, right there. 667-369-8569. 667-369-8569. You asked me to open. Okay, here we go. Caller, welcome to Come Reason with Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Let me just piggyback with Doc.
Yes.
Doc, did you know that some women discontinue their relationship with men when their penis is too small? Because some is too small that the ladies do not get comfortable intercourse from the men. Yes, it's very small, Doc. So what would you say about that?
I would say if one member is too small, you have to learn to use other members of the body. Right? If one member, because intimacy is not about one part of the body. And some people are grown with that traditional mindset and that boring mindset that intimacy is reduced. Apart from procreation, intimacy is also for pleasure. So in terms of the and sometimes the size, most times the size won't affect procreation. No. Most of the time the issue is not about procreation. Most of the time the issue is about pleasure. So guess what? If one member is not working in a way to produce enough pleasure, then all you have to do is you need to explore the other members of the body that you have. And let me tell you something. In terms of pleasure, there are other parts of the body that are more pleasurable than the part that is designed for procreation. And so you have to think about it like preparing a meal or performing. If you know how to perform, you leave the procreation, you use the procreation member last. So you use the member that does the procreation last, and you use the other members that derive pleasure first. And so the procreation member becomes the last part of the presentation or the performance, right? But some persons don't see intimacy as a performance. Some persons don't sit and contemplate You know, like when an artist is going to present something, or an artist is going to make a presentation. There are some persons that don't put any plan into the presentation. And guess what happens? When no plan is put into a presentation, most of the time the presentation is boring. That's why I go Ratty. Most time when no plan is put into a presentation, the presentation are boring. But when plan is put into the presentation, most time the presentation is done properly. Those entertainers line up their song. I know that you come on the show there with the music show name again.
Oh, Relax with the Rebel.
Relax with the Rebel. I'm sure you have to prepare for your performance. That's how you go.
You plan your work and you work your plan.
Yes, man. So usually it's not boring. So a lot of times people don't see intimacy as a performance, and so they just show up and they don't have no plan to work. So the plan work them. Douglas, if I share my land, I heard about doctor. I want to tell you something, Douglas. In my line of work, herbal doctor is just like a misleading term. It's a misleading reason to come and sit, because when you sit down there, let me tell you something. You have to know and do everything. No, Dr. Ben, spontaneous works wonders. Spontaneous works wonders. Guess when spontaneous works wonders? Spontaneous works wonders when the presentation is not often. So let me show you spontaneous work wonders now. Spontaneous mostly work wonder when you meet somebody. And I mean every now and then spontaneous work wonders when sometimes the person who you're intimate with, you haven't seen them in a long time. So you don't plan, you just come together and spontaneity takes over. Or if you're somebody who interacts with different persons, spontaneity. But let me tell you something. When you are with somebody for 30 years and you are expected to perform 3 times or 4 times a week, you have to start plan. Because after a while, you run out of spontaneity. After a while, spontaneity can't cut it. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why many people end up shipwrecked is because they depend on spontaneity in day one. And then after a while, by year 2, spontaneity becomes boring. And then instead of the relationship growing and in terms of the relationship prospering or flourishing, it starts to disintegrate and you wonder what happened. Well, what happened was that you started out in year 1 and you had a lot of good spontaneous performances, a lot of spontaneous situations. And so you thought that spontaneity would have been enough to carry you for the next 20 or 30 years. You know, work that way. What if you're called upon without preparation? You can't flap the show. Well, as I say now, spontaneity has its place, you know. When you a lot of times when you spontaneity has its time. A lot of times when you have a partner that you have not been with for a long time, some of the time planning will flop the show. You plan and it fail. So sometimes that's when spontaneity shines. But when you have somebody who you're with and you're with them for the last 20 years, nobody else, after a while, spontaneity can't do it. You have to start plan. That is the reason why, that is where the whole element of role play comes in. Because you have to start to have different elements and different dynamics, because we evolve and we change and we have different we develop different appetites for different things. And so if we don't evolve, then the thing will get boring. Megawatt says, I'm asking these questions on behalf of a friend. Thank you, Megawatt. But you're right. I see a lot of persons who come to us. Because remember, we can't see a person as just a biological being. a person is manifold. There are many dimensions that is to a person. And so sometimes when a person comes and sit before you, it's not just to look and tell them what herb good for this, what herb good for that. A lot of times, I didn't know that like in some herbs, you use certain herbs and you don't have certain mindset, you're not gonna get the results. So it's always about getting into the mind of the person and helping the person to understand. You're muted, Ratty.
Yes, caller. Welcome to Conversation with Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Yes, Ratty. Good evening.
Hey,
Jamaica,
talk to me, Miss P. Talk to me.
I am so glad to see you, glad to hear you, and welcome and take care of yourself and
Thank you.
everything that is best for you.
Thank you.
Yes, and Doc, I watched you last week. I watched you and I get so educated. Thank you, guys. Well, however, now, and the part of the lady is about the size. It's not the size of the gun, you know, and the effect of the bullet. You understand?
Right.
As a female, I can tell you, a man, most man will have them big something there. It's not nowhere going because you cannot feed your body. If you have the blood to pump to get that. And I swear that not gonna be a man with a small something. If you know how to use it, your skirt, your dance, your skip, your thing, your talk Chinese language, your everything. And ladies again, just like we have female where it's not exposed to certain things. If you meet a man where him is not so active, he not exposed him, you can teach him as well. You have your finger, keep your fingernail very low and clean them. You have a foreplay. And sometimes when you're not foreplay, you don't want to intercourse. Because you do it so nice, you come, you don't want it more. Because if you're born with something small, you have to live with it. That is what God gives you.
Right.
And if you're born with something oversized, you still have to live with it. But most of these men, what they have done, then drink up this whole heap of alcohol, not eating right. Some of them doing some job where them exposed to some chemical and they are not wearing the right PPE, and it all everything make up it. We can be a factor to it. But a civilized time now, man, go on your phone, ask Google, and what can help you want. And if it requires a doctor, you go to a doctor. The doctor will get if you love your man. Or if you love your woman, because the same problem man have. Woman have it as well. Not because the woman don't have a tree, but she still have a problem because she's big and boring. She don't know what, just like you as a man, Mr. Rattigan, that you come from work and your wife got this big dirty frock. You know, put her in a short up and make your see and make your turn out every day now it's long gown. And in a bedroom in a long gown, in every bathroom in a long gown. So tell you have. Which way when you come in, you see wife in a nice little short, a nice little dress, and you see little leg them and you remember. You have kick. So I same thing. You have some of the female we do not know how to wash that place properly, even after menstrual. So I turn off. So everybody have a problem. But it's not like back in the days, you can't get help. So if that gentleman something is very small, sir, I advise you keep your fingernail very short, wash your hands properly when you are going to have your foreplay, and your partner will get something out of it. Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. So the size of the gun is not effective, but the bullet. So the man behind it. Yeah, simple as that.
Yes.
Right.
That is so true, Miss P, because you know, where
Yeah,
we came,
that is it.
where we came. Sorry, go
Me
ahead.
trying to tell you something I realized what happened to me. I met when I was a much younger person, very young, and have my kids them and things never right with me. And this man liked me. The man would have take heaven out of the sky give me. And me know himself say he like me as fair partner, but he never know how to ask. Remember me tell him I tell you something serious. He give me anything. He see the kids there go to school, he come and he say, oh, the boy not going to school. And me say, you know, I'm money, me not have answer. He said, no man. Be them put him close up to school. And he come at my house, he sit down. Sometimes we eat, sometimes, but all him do look at me, but he not big. And I said, no, sir, something wrong with this man. I'm going to find out. And one day when them people go to school, me call him earlier, tell him what he fix, but me there nothing to fix. And me call him in the house and literally take off my clothes. And take off his clothes and say, so and so. And when he not really understand, you know, I me teach him and show him. We there together for about 15, 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it happened that in migrate. And it wasn't like now we have phone, and it's not like how we have phone like no regular. We have to go call center, call box, and all of a sudden, so we get mixed up. And miss him the other day, and we have a good talk and rare and so and so. We are big people now, but I teach him. You have erection, but to beg you as a female, to put it to your heart, to be sex. Him not have that kind to how he grow. But in himself, he must burn.
Oh.
So me just put it on him. Right.
Miss P, what you say you do?
Put it on him, man. Take off the clothes. Bob. Make him see Jerusalem. Teach him to touch Jerusalem. And teach him everything and show him what kind of erection, you know. But you know, have that go figure. As we said to you. So I'm gonna put it upon him. Yeah.
And I mean, you know, that you know, as I say, you know, so some and you know, for those of us who you know who come from that background, it's sad because a lot of the people now who have relationship issues are the ones who are growing in a conservative home structure where intimacy is looked upon as being a taboo. Certain words are not used, certain words are not mentioned. Right. What happened is that people use all type of you know, words and symbols to refer metaphors to refer to body parts. So it's almost as if it's seen and talked about as something wrong. You know, sex and vagina and penis, all of these body parts are not talked about, and so you know there's a lot of you know, fear out there, reservations out there. So people, for the most part, have to experiment. Some experiment and learn and get through. Some are not that experimental, and so they're stuck. And they don't know why they're stuck. They only know that they're not having a good time. They don't enjoy being around the person. So, you know, the scripture says that the older women should teach the younger women how to be good wives. And also the older men should teach the younger men. You know, when I was very young, before I got married, I met my wife when I was 16 years old. And I got married when I was 21. And one of the things about one of the benefits was that I was exposed to a lot of older men who I was able to hear from them. Men who were married, men who were single, men who were grandfathers. So I had an opportunity to be exposed to wisdom that was way beyond my age, and so that kind of helped to prepare me for, you know, what was to come.
I have a sister, you see. She follow me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, as long as that woman lives, she will have no man. And she has money and thing, but she will never keep a man until the day she's dead. Why? She's too controlling.
Mm-hmm.
She is too controlling. She need a family member. She come here, she tell you how to live. She meet this man. If he meet him an engineer, he want him and fit on pilot. Yeah, that's how she is. And she buck up some good man. But then last year, she tell them like 7 days a week, she only gonna have sex probably 1 or 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, everything right on paper, spread out like a rasta.
Mm-hmm. Structured.
Yeah.
Very structured.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's too much structured.
Miss P.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question here now.
Yeah.
If you say you fling it upon him, I could say, you know, have you ever had a situation? I when I say if you ever, not necessarily you, but do you know of any
know of a situation?
Yeah, where a man or a woman would be I'm trying to look for the word now. There would be like a take a reg in a bed, but it's like you just don't want to hear them talk after. And how you work that out? Where it's not somebody where you want to sit down and talk, it's just somebody where you want to roll in the bed with. And then once it's finished, you want them just leave. You ever hear of a situation like that?
All right, this no. Me not really keep spreading out like that. I can't tell you my situation. I'm in a sales talk. Me tell you. In life, me tell you for structured. Depends on how you go. By life story, I'm a half fun. And I lost my parents them very young and I go through life hard. I've never been raped. Never been raped. But you have sometimes things may go the way you want it to go. And you know a man where I fling up so much money upon you, you don't really want him. I'm not feel to be an upfront man. But if you get the money, I get the things and the opportunity. You're going to dash up sitting upon him. So you know, stop your breath and just deal with that matter and then you cut and go on.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, straight. Like, me tell you right, you have some woman, them behave like as if they was in some situation. I rather know say if I go with that man, I go with no criminal. The man like me and clean him and not tease him and nothing, and him like me to give me a thing. Me not have to buy it up because them people have to go to school.
Right.
Me never get the opportunity to go to school till me graduate. So me go get them, even without father. So me have to do to send them to school that they can control thanks to me. I come be a better man and woman in society. So when me do, if me know you and you like me and you can't give me things, me not telling a lie. Me I go dash out to find you and collect, but me not really like you to be my personal man. I understand? Mm-hmm. So me do all those things. Me not like you that way there. And sometimes you don't like the person that way, but eventually it grows. You understand?
Right.
How you dash out, you still have a chalk line. Just like a mongrel dog, when you call bull, but and a heavy bull have a jumping. But you have some man where you still don't want to be an upfront man, but I like sugar daddy and a quiet. Just like some man, they like a woman they know. And when night coming go with him, but he now make daylight with him. So I just saw the world set up. But after growing up, having experience, get old in a life, you understand, and then you make a little chip and say, so that will make it. Or, even when me, I have my kids then, me and my kids them, I go back to school, you know. Me, I wash uniform for everybody. And me and them, I go to school. Them, I go to school, me, I go to this school. But with school, when me, I go, people don't know say me a fit me. You understand?
Yeah.
In school, when me, I go, people don't know say me a fit me. But then we send them to school, and me, when me I live out of my community, me wear clothes. But when we reach certain place, we put on a uniform. You understand?
Right.
Right. So, because me have my kids are young. We still have kids young, so that is it. So life make up Ratty. But nowadays you change, you become a big woman and things. Even though I'm not married, I'm not thinking to marry again. No. Because me grow where in my younger days, me not see nobody but myself. So if you want a bed, I myself me see. Anything you say, I does myself. So we really, we say have one man nowhere, me I go say, oh, me baby, me lose that. Me get half of married 2 times, and me turn it down. And me say to myself, say, you have an attitude when me work, and marriage is a commitment, and I wouldn't like to be a divorcee. So me no bother with it. Right?
You know, let me ask you this. Do you have some pet peeves? Are there things that you look upon and say, boy, no, me can't go with somebody if this? Yeah, what are those pet peeves, if you have any?
Yeah, man, you have some man chat too much. You have some man when I carry themselves good. All different type of parts. You have some of them drink rum too much. So you have different type of parts. And you have some man again, them not pass nothing. And at the same time, you have to think about yourself.
What do you mean by not pass nothing?
Every woman then see them want to go on a practice.
Okay.
And you have some man again, you see them as spend money, and see them as our work. See them as do business. So you ask yourself, so then when could I get too much money where I blow up? Because normally, a person work hard for them money. That not say you want party, you will party because your money, but you will party to a height. So now I hope I do it because I work for your money. But the man, where see this a class and a dance and a driving a pretty car and big clothes and see my do nothing substantial to make money. You have to think because you with the son waiting there at the wrong time and you end up get gunshot too. Or you in your house and police go running up on you and me can't live with it. So what me do now, me never like the flashy man. No, me don't want to. I rather take a little farmer, a man when me know I work down there so or work up there so, me no want no hype boy. Even now, me not chat up man where too hype.
Uh-huh.
Me not like them type of man. Me have to know your source of income. That not say you can be a good source of income and I do nothing and I need to quiet. But at least me judge you for what me see. You know how man every day a man get up, dress up in the expensive clothes, drive the biggest car. Him and no police, him and no nothing, him and no farmer. When you get too much money, is it them a sell drugs or something? And let me tell you, to whatever you're doing, there's a pay there. So probably me now, I got dressed up with a gun a party. I mean, with big man, I take a start, gunshot start, boss. Man come pin, police come pin, me get caught in a fire. No, sir. I mean, I want hot money.
How many sons you have? How many children you have?
8.
8. What the whole
Yeah.
the oldest? What's the
The oldest?
yeah?
41. My daughter.
Any of them married?
Yes, man. Don't know why they one married. Yeah, man, they're married.
How many of them unmarried?
All right. Me have 3 were married. But me have a 14-year-old. Me have a 14 and 19, 20. No, not 20. 22, 26. I thought, yeah, somewhere different.
How many girls? How many boys?
1 girl.
Wow. She married?
And yeah, she married.
All right. For your sons, the ones that are eligible, right, and they're not married, what kind of woman you would have want to see them with as a mother?
A simple, hard-working, decent. When I say decent, a woman will make them happy, and in return, make she happy. And it told them can build their life.
How about if you don't like her for him, but him say, boy, she make me happy?
No. Any woman, see me son then take up. All when me not like them, me love them. Me no make match for nobody. I sit with them and I show them and I say, this is how me gonna life, and this is what I would like for you. No one carry a woman come out to a female woman. All me have to do is accept her with my heart. Right? We say, have a problem, and then call me and mommy so. Me talk to 2 of them. And if my son is doing you something that is wrong, go look at next man, because me never married to a woman. I mean, I think for you, my born him with you. I have a son where I tell him that when night comes, if it's time, go out on him bed foot. So nobody deal with people picking. Me tell my son that. You know why? Imagine young lady have a little argument. Man and woman have an argument. And he take up it and lick the girl. And he cut me from everything. And me tell it, and me cuss the girl. Until I say, your hand, then you have your hand to use. Me not say you just kill him because you go to prison. But anytime he lick you, get it and give him a sensible lick. And he will stop it. Or you let him. You let him. And show that him and the girl left. And in claim, say me tell the girl, but I'm not me, kind of, me never put them together. But me never tell you if you go lick nobody. You must not lick a woman. And where lick a girl for? Foolishness. In tell the girl outward. And the girl tell him back outward. And I think I'm going to lick you one for. That's wrong. I don't care. That is wrong. Him as a mother, he would want to pick your man and lick me. So why you lick a next woman pick me? It don't work so for me. I have a grandson when me know a full jacket. And yeah, that a jacket, waistcoat, and everything. But it's my grandson. And if I hear a man talk to them out, me and them, you know why? My son can't there with me. And in there with she, and he say, I feel pick me. And when the pick me, I go around, we say, a real Indian pick me. But me no business, I see my grandson.
Girl Indian.
The girl is no Indian.
No, man. No, I mean, she have Indian in her family.
Me no know. Me have little Indian in me, but that now make it a blatant Indian there. My Indian, so till ordinary Baba can't swim here. Me no business, I'm my grandson.
Ordinary Baba can't trim me head. I really did that.
Yeah?
I real Indian that. Ordinary Baba can't trim me head. I real Indian that. You know, just have pretty hair. I real Indian that.
Yes, and him bright. Me no business. My son said to me, say, Mommy, you make me want this a jacket, you know. Me say, if you ever talk so, you better love him with your best neck. Come let me tell you something. A jacket is good. Even when the rain fall.
The jacket keep you warm.
Yes, because I know a man, in dead now, may his soul rest in peace. He left that farmer for 9 months, and when he come back, his wife a breed. He know no him breed him wife. Wife, you know. And he take a pitney. And believe you me, I live to see. This dad pitney becomes a doctor in England. And his mother dead and left Mr. Spencer. When Mr. Spencer get old, the man left in Java, England, go look about him.
Wow.
And he had jacket and he feel pitney when personal pitney. None of them no look on him. The man left in Java, England, and come stay with his father until he pass. He may appear one woman out here and look about him and people are calling him saying, nah, look good. And the man left in job, come home, stay with his daddy, till the last breath left out his body. He migrate back and go back to England. To God be the glory.
That you call good jacket?
Yeah.
You know, Miss Pete, they them say Jamaican man promiscuous. Them run round girly, right? But
yeah,
then,
man.
But then them do a thing, them do a study there at the US Embassy, and them say something like 60 or 70% of the children them will come to get visa when them do the DNA. The father, the so-called father, another father. Mm. So it look like I'm not just the man promiscuous, the woman them promiscuous too.
Yes, man. Oh, yes, man. Jamaica hot, you know. And the next thing again, Ratty, and a serious note now. Let me tell you something. In the 90s, the 80s, and the 70s, probably then time you migrate and do big work. But if you look for the era, most of the man them, in them the time then, never used to own them pitney. So you will find this girl, when you are par, and once she tells us your period no come, she will see you again. So you back up that now and run next to that. And the same time you run from that can't say no female. So you have to look at father to push it down. I remember in those days, people never bright like what them bright now. You never have no after morning pill. And people never too exposed to family planning. And you couldn't pay enough of them, you couldn't find the money to do the abortion.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And enough of them again in those days getting molested by them own family member. Because the family now they go look one woman, in look one when see his sister, in niece, in grand pitney, and it's a incest. And because of shame, in put it on you, and you in beg your little something, and you give and in give, and in put it on you. And you grow up, pitney and feel. When you got in and give a bus to go for you, and you say, yeah, send to pitney. I saw you go know, so pitney and of you. Where you go do? 20 idea, 30 idea. Where you go do?
Yeah, because, me about a case. Remind me about a case where the husband migrated and then him filed for the wife and all of the kids them. And them have 4 kids. And when them go at the embassy, when them go and do the DNA test, they find out that 3 of the picnic and of him one.
No God.
Mental.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's like what am I going to do? And them the old time woman, them in bad like a wash to ya. Plenty of wear jacket. Plenty of wear jacket. Me know me a jacket. And how me know me a jacket? I never know my father until he's dead.
Wow.
But Yeah, I never see my father. I just like when I talk to you by phone. I have never seen my father. I have never talked to him. Never say hi, daddy. Never. But 2005, I was listening RJR and me hear in name come over the radio say in dead and in give my name because I know you have me no. My father, my mother used to be blue. I mean listen. I mean call her me never catch it good. So me call her JR and find out the item and news. Cause the gentleman left your number and me can contact the mom. And the man say yes. Anyway, we call the workplace and then we do business and say they must send on anybody. And when anybody come and lynch a mandeville, I went down there. So I just have a young baby. And my mother always said me have 3 more upon my body. One upon my little toe, one upon my little finger, and one upon my private part. Me go on know them 3 more. My mother tell me say my father have them. And when me come my body dressed, and I cast it, I look upon him. Me ask them to take off his gloves. Me look for some marks. And then take off his gloves. And me see mark. Me say 1. Me ask them to take off his socks. And then take off his socks. And me look and me see mark 2.
Yes.
Me turn to him and say, me want to see him private part. The man say, what? And me explain to him, yeah. Me explain to him and tell himself, never seen this man before. But I'm a father. And my mother tell me 3 mark, and me show the man my mark them, and then see mark.
You show the man your 3 mark them?
No, but I want to see him. And then the man dead. He sustained me in the because I never know somebody in a plastic too. And he then show me. And me say yes. And me talk to him alone. Then say if I talk to him, me hear. I don't know in his spirit. And me say to him, say, my father, it is so sad. I grew up to hear about you, and this is the way I miss you. But anyway, sleep in peace. I'm a father. And then the money come, and then bury him. In fact, his mother was alive at the time, and he never married, so then I send the money to him. What happened now? I have an auntie with his sister by his father's side. They show black people wicked in a ratted. The woman knows say if you put me on some paper because of me and my brother and my father have a next son, but he not getting him America, but because I look here about it, you know. Yes, no look, my brother, I talk to him one time. But he not getting him because of man.
After tonight, he must look for you. Let's speak.
And the woman tear downtown liar, come down here, a Ritz Carlton hotel, and we reach down there. And if you have your niece and nephew out there and show them a struggle, and a little light, them father dead, and a little light, make me collect, must what? For 2 million US. Because in my work at one place I Florida Bounty, Broward County. And for the left Jamaica at the same work. And now the woman have to do is to put the papers together, make we go over embassy, get the visa and go to America and go deal with it. You know what woman want to do?
Sign.
Why me to sign paper
You know.
to make she collect money? Me not sign none. Me not sign none. Because one thing we can tell people, learn to read.
Right.
And when you read and you buck up on some word or when you don't know, you look helpful, broke it down. That's your understanding. In part 2 life of America come down here and write some big word. I mean, I say, you can't read them what they know. And me put on a man to go be me and one friend. And me take the friend and the friend came to one lawyer back at them. And when the lawyer read it and tell me just tell them, say no, I don't sign none. So make it $2 million in America. Me ain't win, so it's all right. You could have your niece where you come out Jamaica, country and suffer. And one nickel like now, you know, help them to come up. She want to take money for herself, then when she give it, she feel like, where I want. You see?
Right, tonight we learned that the P in Miss P means Miss Practical, because you're such a practical woman. Such profound wisdom. There's an experience is wisdom, man. You have a lot of experience.
Yeah, man. And like some people are going like say, when you're born and you're born poor. Even people born with money and to explore too. They can't tell me nothing. They have to explore. Oh. And what I best thing, as a man, if you take up a woman who experience and explore, I best wife you ever get because him know everything already. Him now run on up more. But you want them brand new, they want them pasty, they want them bread, they want them bun, everything. But you want when you have everything already, incompatible. Allow me to tell Ratty.
True.
100%.
Yeah, you have everything already, not rush nothing. But you want the new one, you want to go party, you want to go sing, you want to go everywhere. It's 7 days a week.
And a lot of men too sometimes that have a wife or a partner or a husband who is not exposed. Sometimes when they go outside and go experiment with somebody who is more experienced.
And plenty of women them that's where them man. When you have a man, you give him everything. Back way, side way, upside down, inside out. So when he go on road, no new to him. And just because a man and man have that instinct the way if you a girl boy, you take piece off him, but he might come back home to you. No matter where he go, he might come back home to you. So if a girl give him extra, you give him extra for you, then you see. But probably at the moment, he might drink 2 liquor, if you want one leg up, he want a meter or 5, I look good. As simple that. Yeah, but some woman now, them toast touch. If you tell him, give me a little backers. No, that is rude. Especially Christian them. Then now take off their clothes, make their husband see them naked. He have little sex. In dropping clothes, we up in stomach. In a hand that she. Damn fool. You go in the bathroom, you can't have little clothes in the bathroom. I like kitchen to upon the kitchen counter. Oh.
They brought down the chicken. Yeah, chicken. You brought down the counter.
You back in a garage. Upon the car, but it feel car, feel woman, feel yard, feel everything. Every day in a bed. Bed next to sick people.
Yeah, man.
And when bed next to sick people, and when you want to sleep. In mattress and throw a party floor. You go on the veranda when everybody lock up. If you depends on your house and on the balcony out the door. What you say? Every day in a bed makes you sleep.
So bed makes for sick people when they want to sleep. Not true?
Yes. You must make your sex life nice, juicy. You have to travel along the road. 2 hours and a chat car. You then pull up your car. And just lick piece and go, oh, no, that. I mean.
So, I guess you don't consider yourself shy then. You consider yourself aggressive, right?
Yeah, I'm not shy, but me picky still, but me not shy. Shy for what? I'm a nice man. I am man, I live good. Man, I treat you good. And the next thing with woman again. Ladies. You look up a man where he's a millionaire. That doesn't make you happy. Yes, everybody wants money to spend, to buy what you want and whatever. But you see them man where you see have them all for money, me not go for them. I rather take up a ordinary man. A person will make you happy. We talk, you laugh, you eat together, you do.
Reggae girl. You're gone, Ratty. You're mute. So, reggae girl, say how much time how much time you think ladies must have make intercourse for a week? Well, it depends on the age. It depends on the condition that your body is in, because if your body is in good health, and your body members are working. I mean, if you can manage 5 to 6 days a week, then that is good, But it's really based on the individual. It's really based on the individual. You're muted, Ratty. You're muted.
I'm gonna grab that card because it looked like you turn up the thing. Oh, she just hung up. Miss Philadelphia calling because she had text me and said why she want make some comments about the points that we raised. Miss Philly, you can't call, you can't call. We are going nice up the thing here with Miss P. Miss P, no, you don't have to go yet. No, she have to call back. So
yeah,
no man, the thing gone on fire, man.
Yeah, man. But as Miss P say, it's these are things that a lot of young women don't know, a lot of young men don't know. So we're finding that so many relationships are going sour. But as Miss P touched, real points you touched tonight.
Yeah, because guess what? You have your man. I tell you something. My second baby father, when me and him there, every night you want. So me young and I tell this lady, why big woman? Me love big woman company, And me say sometimes me tired, me can't bother her, man. You have a woman tell me say, Mr. Ahmad, may I sorry you in peace. He say I'm very tired and come from bush. Call upon him. And that make I tell you, before I go bush, and you come back from bush with me want sex. I mean just want to feeling tired and fed up. He couldn't keep up to me and in happy. Yeah.
Sorry, you wear him down, Miss P. You wear him down.
Wear him. And I mean do it is spite.
Oh gosh, man. Dash upon him.
Do it is spite. So sometimes I think go up and drop off. I see where my job. Yeah, man. And I hold him and tell me that we're not quarreling with him, man. If you quarrel him, I'll say you have man. You don't know. Just want it every minute. That way you don't want it, you want it. Just want it and fight him back. Aggressive. If he say I go good on the road, he must give me good on the road. Anyway, he say I go. You just want it. And that I do him. I just stop and just come now, man.
You're done him, man.
I have some woman again, they now give them man no sex. You
Miss
have
P.
to give your man sex, make you sick of it.
Miss P, let me take that card. Yeah. Let me take that card. We're gonna leave at 11:30, but you can't call back. But let me take that card from this lady, Miss Philadelphia.
All right.
Hello, welcome to Comrie. No, it's a Comrie's with Rattigan.
What a night. I have 2 things to say.
Mm-hmm.
One, gone are the days when a woman can take a man's money.
Can take a man's what?
Money.
Yeah.
And don't deliver the goods to him. We see in our time now how often, how frequently it is happening. Man a kill woman. So a lot of ladies, because St. Thomas, that nice, pretty young girl. I think it's about over a month or so that happened. She took his money, him sent to a partner, and he gave her mostly money, and she promised him, and he didn't give her. She didn't give him. And what he did, he killed her. And it happens so often. So ladies, time has changed. If you're really not in the man and love the man, I don't think you should ever take his money. We don't know who will be lucky to get away and who will not be lucky. Next, number 2. If women know, the ladies know, that this time would come. My throat is a little sore, so, sound a little hoarse. This time would come. I am thinking then they would not give the man the jacket, because they never know that the time would have come when the embassy would be doing DNA. They never used to. But lately now, they have been doing that. And of course, many of the children that the women give to the men are not theirs, and they have been supporting them. I know as a teacher, fact truth of many situations with that. You talking to me?
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So I know a situation as a teacher that many men, things like that, especially when they come to the school to get school report and all of that. It's not their children. And exactly of that, just like what I talk about the young lady in St. Thomas, in Harborview, I don't know who can remember that one, when his mom filed for him, went abroad, got the opportunity to file for her and the kids, only to realize that some of the kids were not here.
Wow.
That's all. What he did, he chopped off her neck, her head, and put it on her chest. I don't know who can ever remember that incident in Jamaica. He was mad because they said the woman left the yard. So that means that when him gonna work, that happened. We have to be careful as women, the things we do. Because if the man not even go kill we, your conscience one day will bother you. And you remember, karma is real, so you never know. So I mean, this is time that women must look up. We can do it differently. We don't have to go that way. If you don't want a man, no bother. They can go. Every have it about. So.
But Miss Philly, what about if you're destitute, and this man will come and him start really have some change for you, and there's no other way out for you. You have to just take the change and go and work with the program. You don't walk away from it.
I have been in that situation. Yeah, personally, I've been in it, and I never take it. I never do it because I don't know what would have. I am not the type of some women, they are bold like that. No, I always be thinking, and that is why from an early age I try and get my education and work for what I want. Yeah, I am not saying I don't take money from men, but the man that we are into a relationship, so I take it because we have a relationship. But if we are not having a relationship, I'm not taking it.
No, so that's what I'm saying. Why don't you take the money and get another relationship then? Because there's
no, if I don't love, I am not in it. I can't pretend.
But
I cannot do it.
No, but you hear Miss P says sometimes you grow to love.
I don't know for that one. I don't know because
when
I
take the money
meet
till
a
you grow to
man,
love him. The money will make you. The money might change everything later on, like 6 months down the road.
Well, if it's the money you're going to look at, something is wrong with that love.
No. What I'm saying, but just the way him treat you. Just the way him treat you with the money might cause you to start have a different reaction to him.
No, he can't treat you with the money because he wants you, and then when you get into the whole activity of everything, then you realize you really not love him.
No.
So money must not be the first thing. Money must not be.
No, what I'm saying is that him start spend a change for you because and you're destitute, so you appreciate it, and him now rush you. And then 3-4 months down the road, you say, boy, he's a nice man, because him now push himself for me and him take care of me and things like that. So that can make you change your feelings about him.
Yes, it can, but it depends on who. Who's the right person who will fall in that position for that situation. But that never come to me to say, okay, taking care of me or what. So, well, I have, no. But I know I was offered money. But if I don't love, I'm not taking the money. I didn't grow up that way, like, old and so on. I was kind of shy, I started to grow up on. So I'm not.
But you wouldn't do it. But you're not saying it's wrong though, because like I'm saying, some people, they're in a position where the only help they can get is from this particular person, and over a period of time, they might not have felt that way about the person in the beginning, but over a period of time, they start saying, you know what, my feelings start change for this person. So it's not, have to always be love at first sight. You know what I mean?
It's a love at second sight.
Our third, our fifth,
Well, the answer for me to that, because it's a tricky answer to give. Because if you are not being in the position to say no, you would not take it, as to somebody who really need it, that's two different situations. But I will say to each his own. That's how I will answer that. To each his own.
So, this is somebody that doesn't, lady, you're too kind, go to sleep.
I can remember one time before I migrated in Portmore at my house, I went to the hardware store to get some stuff for some work at the house. And there was this man who liked me, but the man looked like a policeman. And he offered to take me home. And that was from Silverstone, where the hardware is, to down to Portmore there. And believe me, he invited me out. And it was the hardest thing. I'm just so scared. Yeah. So I wrote a note and put it on my dresser with the man's phone number. I went on the date. And I called my neighbor and said to her, if anything should happen to me, look on my dresser inside my house. And that's the name of the person and the phone number that I went out with. Mm-hmm.
How about if him not give you money, but him give you gifts?
To each his own. To each his own. Because if I am not in a relationship with them and I don't take anything from them, I don't.
Yeah, that's just your personal conviction.
Yes, because of the way I was grown up.
Right.
Yeah, I was grown up with my godmother, who is like a spiritual person.
Oh.
So, strict, those kind of strict way.
Right.
So
I mean, Miss P said as much that she was grown out, her mother and father. I mean, that not necessarily mean that she was grown bad, but that same level, that level of buffer that you would have with your biological mother, maybe it wasn't there. So she was as I would say, thrown into the ring, So she learned, she learned, and that developed her. So her upbringing caused her.
Right. That's why I'm not condemning anybody. I say if you are in this situation, then it's different from someone who is not in the situation. And again, I say to each his own. So I'm not condemning anybody. But what I'm saying, the ladies must be careful. Time has changed. Take men money. Some of them will kill you.
Yeah, and I mean,
we know that.
Miss P, talk about the man who was grown to be conservative, because as she said that he would come and he would give and he would want to share, but he wasn't just the type that would ask for intimacy. He had to be approached, and she was the one that did the approaching. So, as I say, it has a lot to do with how you were grown and how you were, how you were raised.
So but even now, women have to be the initiator right now, even in this time, with some men that you have in your life, in variety of ways, where they will just, same old way. And if you are waiting on them to make life different or to try something different, it will never happen. So you have to be the initiator. See how your life is going and say, oh, I can make this change. I can make that change. I can have this, and so on. Yeah, women are most of the time the initiators. Just like what Miss P had to do. I'm almost glad she come up with that, but not showing it. Some men are really shy too.
Say Shevleton, say you're 1 in a million, then what is it? Reggae girl say, gimme, me love you. Then these sex nice, I pay for the service. And then Tasha say, I'm taking it.
Yeah, each his own, Everybody's
different. Miss P sounds like my future wife, live. Miss P, big up yourself, People around here love
Miss P,
love you, Miss P. Yeah.
If I was grown differently, I believe and I know I would have taken in life. Yeah, I would have taken more chances in life. But the way you're grown makes a difference in the common island.
Yeah. So Missy Bram, I big up Miss P. Miss P, I hope you read the chat, Missy said Sister P had to fend for herself from she was young. She did not get the chance to get a good education, but she's now contributing to society. She just took my high blood pressure down. She's loved. Yes, man. Second that. Yeah, and third it, fourth it, fifth it. Yeah. Anyway, folks, here's what happened now. We have 3 minutes to go.
All right, so let me get off the phone.
All right, so you take care of yourself, and if you see a gift come by your house tomorrow, I don't know what you're going to do. You might be confused. So
possible.
No, but I just throw me through that out in there. You're supposed to dash it away because you not take gift from people. So.
Possibly, if it comes from the person, if it comes from somebody that I like and I've been admiring and so on, I will take it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they know.
All right. All right, Miss Billy, take care of yourself. Be well. Yeah, Mrs. O.T. trope something I fear that.
Rhodiola.
Oh yeah, you did mention that. Yeah, you did mention
rhodiola. It grows in rocks. So it's a herb that grows in the crevices and the rocks. And it's very good for energy. It's very good to boost libido in men. It's an energetic herb. It boosts stamina and virility. So it's if you're watching and you want if you're low on energy, if you're low on stamina, you only can do it one time, then this is a herb, rhodiola, that will help you in that department.
Caller, good night. Welcome to Comrades Miss Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, man, I'm Mr. One. Let me tell you something.
Good night.
What tell you? I never, if I don't have a little feelings for you, I now take your money. So I make this clear to every ladies. If you know, say you know plan to give the man little mush, not take your money. Because that can be detrimental. You know my life story, any man money me take or anything me take that way there. He might go get it. Because if I hit him once, he might go get it. Let me tell you in a life, when you go play a card game, you must game how you play the game. And find your name when you play the game, you're good. Because if a man have all right, for instance, a man having wife, but a man in here, man, he like you. So you must say to you, say, a true man, when I'm married, you know, but boy, I tell you, say, me have a little feeling still. If you want to play the game up to you, you ever tell him, so guess what now? You have your wife. So you can't love me like how you love your wife. So it's about me tell you thanks and you tell me thanks. No strings attached. So when me see you and your wife, me don't know you. It's simple, me don't know you. You understand? And I want people to understand certain things in their life. The way you was brought up, that is the reason why I don't know how this society don't believe in rehabilitation. You understand? You have to believe in a rehabilitation. Rest of times make people do things that they do not want to do. But circumstances alter cases. All right, if me no man will like me and him give me things, I rather take the man thing who want to keep Lasco in the supermarket. We bring down shame for myself. You understand? Which way, a man like me and him a man in cleaning, me a good man. Now, one that never kill me. Me collect money, and you don't want to be stepping like any aristocratic. I'm going to go buy when I buy. If you don't tell my life story, you can't know.
Right.
You can't know. And I like them, me go a back road, or me go this and say me a ladies of the night. No. No man like you. And you have a little feeling thing, but you don't marry already. And you single and you have to pick them, because me never dash on a pick.
Gone again. Well, let me just where is she? Darrett Elliott says, Miss P, make sure you're in Kingston on the 21st of June. And I know everybody else, 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th that.
Yeah, and
because
you know what?
I can't.
We are looking for volunteers too, you know. The producer OT said, make sure you mention volunteers for the rally June 21st. So come Saturday.
I will be there. I must be there.
Okay.
I will be there. God bless him.
God willing. Okay. All right.
Ratty,
So, yes.
Before I go, I can tell you something. When my second son, I got to take CXC, they will tell you something in my life what happened to me. Me don't have no money to pay for CXC. Me I do little selling and things bad. But me meet this man in the market, he's a big man, bigger man than me. I don't keep little boy. And he having chocolate a good time. I said, but he like me, because I tell myself, me little pretty, you know, natural hair, skin. May I tell you, I even long that me old days, I pay a little young boy a call to me. And I never like this man. But me, one woman I tell me, say, woman friend tell me, say, he like you, man, they can't get a food all time. So me say, that is this. He call me, he want me to help him selling load and me help him sell. Me never take $1, me not eat. So we are chat and me I explain to him and I tell him what happened to me one day. He said, no worry yourself, man. The time I know, roughly to find $10,000, you know. Of $10 million, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Ratty, me help you, man. The man give me the money. When we reach a high gate, I the car we are collecting money. I go back at town, you know. Me run in and me left Richmond and go up, you know. And me see my wife CXC money. Ratty? The market there that week I was planning to go out. Somebody tell me, say, a portion you have. He say, what is this? Me tell you now. So me pack up in load because me collect the money and not treat me good. So me know me got dead tonight. I drink up about a dozen Guinness, you know, catch it. I feel nice. I said, dead tonight. Lucky. When you go to the players, such man have a big elephant piece of pork that he can't move. That's it. I mean, me team up, you know, beat up in the car, no one dead, and in the car, you know. That man have a big elephant piece of pork now I use. We just glad, we just put it in leg and leg him out. I'm use. I know my fault. When you go back, the next morning, I tell my friend, Fancy, I laugh for me. I said, wait, you don't get nothing kind of use, that's why we say no. So that's a nice setup. The man have money, in nice, in cleaning kind, but the plant where I have been have as much blood finish for me. So it has gone between my leg and river come down, and I thought, but what really happened to me now, me drink too much liquor, because me drink up in liquor, the man said me I go dead. And then nothing one. So you see, in liquor, you know, me know nothing to work out in liquor. You understand? So that's a life, though.
So you say leg him out.
What do you mean?
Cricket.
Well, I know me leg him out, you know. Him can't, him, you know, let us climb.
Him can't bat.
This year, when they? Yeah. Because
So
imagine.
and get our legs before wicket.
Anyway, me tell it later.
Get a LBW.
Yeah.
And get a O.
Leg before wicket. Leg before wicket. All right.
You don't get no wicket, man. You get legs. You ratty. Well, I miss something else. Let's feel something else. But let me just deal with this that reggae.
Yeah, well, I don't have the phone now. Go through, deal with that.
Yeah, so that her son is having headache. The fact that he's having his nose is hurting him, and he's having a sore throat that sounds like he's having a flu. It sounds like he's coming down with a flu. And usually when the virus is just attacking the body, that is those are the side effects. So what you need to get for him is you can get some honey. You can get some honey for him. Get some ginger or cayenne pepper. Get some garlic and onion, and you're gonna make what is called an elixir. So you can make sure the honey cover everything that you put in it by about an inch. And you're gonna give him that one tablespoon every 3 hours. Every 4 hours you can give him that. And that will allow him to overcome, because what he's having is a flu.
Okay. Any more questions in the chat? Any more questions? OT, you see any questions there? You know, we have a small but lively group tonight, you know, because people might write me and say, what? Just LBW. Oh, the Magnitsky people, please go over to change.org, the website, and sign the petition. Remember now, do not make a donation over there. If you want to make a donation to the June 26th event, and I highly suggest that you do, then come over to One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and make a donation over there. Or you can just go to give@ojldf.net. Give, Give, at OJLD as in David, F as in Frank, .net. Give at OJLDF.net. That's where you make your donation. And this Saturday, we're looking for some names. So for volunteers, we're going to need some volunteers. The event is a all-day event, starts at 10 and will end at 6 p.m. So we're looking forward to seeing you. We're looking forward to hearing from you about your interest in being a volunteer. Doc, here's another question. Oh, hold on. There you go.
Yeah. So the green papa leaf is good for this, as well as the a herb called milkweed.
Green papa leaf and milkweed.
So you just blend the green papa leaf, blend about an ounce on the shot glass, and just drink one of that. And brings up the white blood cell count.
Okay. OT, anything else, OT?
Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and its global supporters cordially invite Jamaicans yard and abroad to its inaugural Reconnection on June 21st, 2025 at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center in Kingston, Jamaica. Bring your entire family for a day of food, fun, entertainment, and information. Get an understanding of the Constitution and the skills necessary to exercise your rights and your civic responsibilities as Jamaican citizens. You can't afford to miss this inaugural Reconnection Rally, June 21st in Kingston. Tune in for further information and updates to Reason with Rattigan on YouTube and reggaeglobalradio.com, Saturdays at 3 p.m. New York time and at 2 p.m. in Jamaica. See for yourself.
Yes, people, that's where we're going to leave it. Dr. Ben, I want to thank you again, sir, for just making this program what it is, because you can't do it by myself, and people need information where you have of yourself. And it's a blessing when you come on and you can provide information to them so that they can go out and actually take care of themselves. Because I tell you, Dr. Ben, people, he has helped me tremendously over the last several weeks. I'm not really saying it much, but at this moment I just like to thank him immensely for the assistance he provided me, because I've had several problems. And one of the problems I had, I was taking medication, and the medication was causing more problems. And when I call him and I said to him, Dr. Ben, boy, I'm never like a problem, I'm saying, I take medication. I say, yeah. I'm saying, no, man, you don't need no medication for that, man. And it was something very simple that he gave me to do. And guess what, people? Never need the medication. I stop taking the medication the same day. And see me, yeah? All right now. So, I'm just saying, Lance, I have another question. Lance, another question right here.
Yeah, so the fresh garlic is better because the garlic powder won't work the same way. So the fresh garlic.
Well, if you can't get the fresh garlic, would the powder suffice? And what's the powder?
Because the garlic has the enzymes in it. The powder wouldn't have that. It wouldn't have the same use as the fresh garlic.
Okay. All right, people. And that's how we're gonna leave it. So the rally there, if you can go over and donate, ojldf.net. And we'll look forward to see all of you this Saturday, because this Saturday going to be a show. We're gonna come early because we have so many things planned, and I don't want, and the show, it go already. It's several hours long, and if you come for just get a certain segment, I want to make sure you get the segment. But you have to come early this Saturday. Come early because we're going to start on time, because Alpha will be there. The gentleman who wrote the book on rare earth elements in Jamaica will be there. Dr. Rosalie Hamilton will be there. And I have some feature presentations concerning the Prime Minister. We're going to track and trace his journey from poverty to prosperity, something we most of it will never see in our lifetime. Well, he was able to do it, and we're going to show you how he did it. And the interesting thing is, he did it with nothing. We can't explain where the money come from, but you can tune in for that. And of course, we're going to talk about Morgan doing Morgan things, and we're going to go through the Morgan you can call it the Morgan Manifesto, you can call it the Morgan Manual or the Morgan Handbook. We're going to go through that, and we're going through the handbook. We're going to show you what the government has promised and what they haven't delivered. And we're going to start with what Senator Morgan told us about the used cars that they purchased for the police back in 2017. And as I said earlier, to date, some of those cars have not been delivered from 2017. And the taxpayers' money was spent upfront. Reggae girl, big up yourself. Everybody in the chat, big up on yourself. Thanks for spending the time with us. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you this Saturday. Dr. Ben, you have anything to say before you go, Virgil?
No, man, all is well. Nice to be on, and looking forward to seeing you next week.
All right, my brethren. Take care of yourself. Bless up everybody. Let it go. See.